Today I thought we would do a nice review of a couple of shotguns, and we're going to honor our Marine Corps today. These are Marine shotguns. They're not called Marine shotguns necessarily because the Marines use them. They are called Marine shotguns because they are electroless nickel coated. They are for Marine type settings out in the ocean where you'd be around salt water on the boat. Maybe the Coast Guard could have some, maybe some Marines on board a ship could carry something similar to this. The one on the top is Grandpa's old favorite, which is the Remington 870 solid steel receiver. Nice solid steel tube and barrel, and that is electroless nickel throughout, inside and out, and it has a shortened stock on it. I've added this. The Schott Corporation sells that for women and children. And men like them too because they're nice and short and lightweight, good, strong, special plastic stock. So that's a great shotgun. We're going to use that today as our basis, our platform, our comparison is the old Remington 870. And the new kid on the block that you see there, that is coming in from Tokarev, USA. USA is working with Tokarev, which is out of Turkey. And it is definitely the new kid on the block. So we're going to make a direct comparison between these two shotguns. And today I'm going to do this to dedicate towards the Marine Corps, towards my Marine friends, Marine One, Mark the Marine, any other Marines that are out there. Semper Fi to you. Appreciate your service. They say that when you get in a battle with another country, some bad guys somewhere, and you need a bunch of bad people eliminated, you send the Marines, and that's true. I will poke at them a little bit and tell them y'all always get in a fight, pick a fight with somebody, but you do use a Navy ship to get there, and Marines, if they look at their paycheck, it does say a Department of the Navy. So that's my little poke at my Marine friends. Hopefully they won't cancel my channel and firebomb me out of the out of existence. But we appreciate your service. Thank you so much. So let's, without further ado, let's get into these. Let's talk about some of the similarities. First off, capacity. What can you do with these shotguns? That one here on the top, Grandpa's Remington 870, beautiful shotgun. It is a 6+1. You'll see it has extended tube. It's an 18.5-inch barrel, and it is 6 in the tube plus 1 in the chamber for a total of 7 rounds. You got to take care of the problem, the zombies, the bad guys, people climbing in and out the window, whatever's happening on your farm, on your house, maybe out in the field in your truck, maybe out in the combat situation. You got 6+1. So as you're shooting that shotgun, this one, the pump, you would need to be reloading while you're shooting, which is pretty easy. You could throw the stock over your shoulder, roll it over on its backside, and you can keep feeding that Marine shotgun as you're in the firefight, which might not be so easy to do. Depends on how close the enemy is to you. So take that into consideration. So capacity, 6+1 on this bad boy here on the top. Good solid steel shotgun, well proven, millions of them built. No question about that. We're going to talk about some other things. So what about this this nice little Bullpup, BP? You'll hear these referred to as a BPS, built by Tokarev. BPS stands for Bullpup shotgun. What's the capacity on this one? Well, it comes with a standard mag, which is a 5+1. That wouldn't keep up with Grandpa's, but you can drop in this 10+1. Now you're 11 rounds, and you have beat Grandpa out with his old pump shotgun pretty easily. This, if you get the proper one, will also take a 20-round drum. This is a magazine-fed shotgun. So in a combat situation, if you have shot this one dry, when you reload on this one, you're reloading all 10 rounds. Where you're reloading on the 870, you're reloading them one at a time. And this is this got the same similar controls as an AR-15. There's your release right there. These don't necessarily drop free. Once they're empty, they don't like to drop free, but you give it a quick pull and you can get that out no problem. What else we want to compare? Well, we talked about the coating, electroless nickel. We talked about the capacity. Let's talk about how to mount some things to it. If I wanted a laser or a red dot or a light, this new guy on the block, this Tokarev shotgun, Bullpup, is the way to go. You can put a laser on the bottom very easily. You could put a vertical here on the bottom if you wanted to. You can mount a red dot on the top. You can see here I have the Romeo 5 built by Sig Sauer way up forward so that I still keep plenty of peripheral vision right and left. A lot of people make a mistake. They put a red dot, try to put it up close to their face like it's a scope, and a red dot is not a scope. It is a sight that's intended to throw that red dot on the bad guy or whatever it is you're shooting. Squirrels out in the yard like I did the other day, squirrel hunting. But you can leave whatever you're shooting completely in focus with your eyes and then sharply look for the red dot on the target, pull the trigger, and you get the job done quickly. But by moving it forward, you have a lot more field of view to the right and left to make sure no bad guys are coming in on you with your eyes all shut and telescopic vision. You don't want to do that. Grandpa shotgun on the top. You can have that drilled and tapped and put a Picatinny rail right up here on the top, but that is extra work, that is extra time, extra money, and you've now kind of destroyed the cleanliness of the gun, and also you're not being real nice to that receiver. I like to leave it 870 stock on that part of it. So what else can we say about this? Easy, very easy to mount. Laser on the bottom, light on the bottom, red dot on the top. You could put a scope if you wanted to put a scope and use this as a slug gun. I wouldn't suggest use it as a 300-yard gun to do sniper work. But if you wanted to be in the hills of Tennessee, Arkansas, Kentucky and go out and try to kill a buck, you can put a magazine on this that is legal in all 50 states, I believe. I know that they send a restrictor plate that you can drop down in there, and you can force this factory mag that comes with it, drop it from a 3-round in or 5-round into a 3-round, and then it's legal anywhere. So that takes care of that. So very good gun. I like both of them, and let's go to the next thing that's similar or different. Reloading 9 versus reloading 1. In this case 10. You can reload 10 at a time on this. One quick reload, you got 10. This one you can reload, it's 1 at a time. Now let's talk about quickness of operation. If the gun was by itself and for some reason you needed to do quick reloads and your mag was damaged or something and you still needed to shoot this gun, compared to the 870, the 870 wins that contest every time. Here's a light load. I'll try to demonstrate that for you. On the 870, I'll make sure my safety's on. You drop it in there. As long as it goes in that hole like that and you go forward, that is going into that tube. And that gun is ready to shoot. So that's cool because you've got the elevator plate right here, and that's going to make sure that shell gets in there. Let's go ahead and get him out. It's like magic. This one, you cannot do that with. If you try to be rapid in the middle of the night and drop that in there real quick and then hit your release, you're going to damage that shell. Why? Because this one has an elevator to hold the shell in place. This one does not. What holds it in place? The magazine lip right there. The follower on the magazine. You got a lip on each side, and that's going to hold that shell in place and make sure its nose is pointed at the center of the chamber. So what happens if you try to just drop that and hit the release? I'll show you exactly what happens, and it is ugly. You don't want to do it. I didn't want to do it on film because it's just ugly. But there's what happens right there. Since you don't have a follower in place, if you just drop a shell in there and hit the release, in this case, the release is right here, just like it is on the M16. It looks similar to the M16. It's up here by the mag, and it's located right there. You can literally take this gun. Watch this. I'm going to drop it. You drop it. See, the bolt went forward. Now, if I'd had that shell in there, this is what would happen. I hope I can get this close enough where you can see this. Without the follower from the mag, now you're trying to use it as a single shot, it will damage the shell. That shell is so swollen there on the edge from it trying to slam it in there and nothing, no follower to hold that. So it wasn't held up in place when that bolt came forward. It was more like parallel to the receiver, and it just slammed into the edge of the barrel, and it ruined that shell. Say, could you still shoot that shell? I wouldn't want to. Not that it's unsafe. That's not the point. It's just you could get your gun jammed up. And I have tried to put this in that chamber, and it just doesn't fit. It's swelled it too much. So that's something to know. You don't want to try to do a single load on that. You can do it if you're careful and you were going real slow and you held the gun down like this. You know, if you held the gun down like that, you could slowly put it in there and you could get it that way. That's fine. But we're talking about like an emergency rapid load, one shot. On this, you throw it in there, and like I said, just slam that hand guard forward. Your forearm piece, slam that forward, and it's going to quickly chamber that round. It's ready to go. So the 870 wins on that contest, no doubt about it. What else do we want to compare? Well, we're going to talk about the barrel lengths. The barrel lengths on these are both 18.5. Let's get that measured real quick. Got Grandpa's old beat up ruler here. We'll get that lined up with the barrel, get that exact. And these have right in front of the receiver, between the receiver and the neck and the barrel, right in the middle of that is basically where you measure where your edge of your barrel is. So you can see that's an 18.5-inch barrel. Let's do the same thing down here. We go just to the tip of it and try to get that flush. And you can see that's an 18.5-inch barrel. Now, because this is a bullpup and the barrel comes all the way back and your receiver is to the rear, that makes the whole shotgun quite a bit shorter. Let's see how much shorter. Let's do an overall length measurement on the Grandpa's 870 Marine shotgun. And we're coming in at about 37.5, call it 38. And then we measure the new kid on the block, this nice little bullpup, and try to get it flush if I can. It don't have to be exact, okay? All right, y'all don't beat me up too much. Say, well, that's off 50 thousandths. Don't worry about that. And you check here, and we're 28.5. So another quick way to measure that would be to just measure the difference out here on the end. And you can see, let's see, I'll get this get these matched up on the rear. Get them matched up. We'll see what that difference is. Get these exact. I got some people that are real picky, boy. They want to make sure everything's exact. So there we go, we're exact. And let's see what the difference is here. So this is just a rough end. There's the barrel on the edge, and you're at about 9 inches, 9.25. You know, you could fight that a little bit. Put my finger there and go across this way and see how close that is. So it's about 9.5 inches of difference in the two. So if I had to pick one of those two shotguns and find me a violin case, and I needed to carry it kind of covertly, wow, that thing's ready to go, and carry it in a covert manner and, you know, kind of undercover or whatever, this would definitely be the way to go. And if I want to get in a firefight of some sort, let's say you walked into the backside of your house and you just had a whole bunch of zombies and they were all trying to climb in the back window, man, you could clear them out with this thing. It is, it's quite the rig. Now, I want to talk to some of my buddies, some of my Marine Corps friends, Navy friends, veterans, and some people that didn't serve in the military, but they're older and maybe something has happened to them, okay? They've had a motorcycle wreck, or they served in the military and they took some shrapnel. All right, let's say that you're the type of person that your wrist is bad. Let's say your shoulder is bad, your rotator cuff is weak. Maybe you've had your shoulder replaced. For some reason or another, this 870 just does not suit you well. You're not able to operate it efficiently anymore like a young man would. My wife is just as strong as I am, but she has short arms. So when she grabs the 870 and tries to pretend like she's going to work in our shoot house, what she has to do is lower this gun down to her waist and operate it like you would a chainsaw. You see some people throw a chainsaw. They throw the cord in one direction and the chainsaw in the other. Not the best way to do it, but you're not going to tell an old timer not to do that. That's the way she does it. And she does the same with a shotgun. She brings the shotgun down and throws the shotgun forward one hand and the forearm to the rear with the other, and she can quickly chamber around, but the whole time she's doing that, her front bead is off target. So that's not a good thing. So if you're the type of person that you've got an injury, or you're just don't have long arms, or you don't feel good with a pump shotgun, hoping that you can make things work right. And I know the pump shotgun is a very effective weapon. I know it's very reliable, but I have watched many people short stroke a pump shotgun and get it hung up. So you got to be careful of that reliability stuff, because a lot of that reliability of the pump shotgun depends on your skill level. So, and practice, those put together. This little guy, this is pretty amazing, but this little guy, once you get him loaded and chambered, it can be sitting in a safe place in your home, your cabin, or wherever, truck. And you have your safety on. The safety is, like I say, it's set up just like an AR-15. Here's your safety there. And you'd have that safety on safe like that. Your thumb, when you're holding this gun, your thumb is just like that, just like it'd be on an AR-15. Down means lead down range, and that's ready to go. So that's all you would have to operate, that and the trigger, to get the work done. So this gun, once it is loaded and the safety is off, it's just a matter of either putting the laser on target or the red dot on target, and then boom, 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 boom. And it's very easy to shoot. If you're shooting this from a laser mode, you wouldn't even have to have that to your shoulder. These gas guns have a tendency to eat some of the recoil, just from the nature of a gas gun. Just from the way the gas vents, it has some holes drilled in the barrel here, and that makes the gas go into a little cylinder that's got a piston, and that piston is going to drive the action and open it. Very simple setup on that. So of the two, for longevity, for lasting the rest of your life, your kid's life, and their kid's life, you're not going to beat this one. For field use and just general purpose around the farm and being familiar with and easy to use it as far as knowing the parts, this is more simple. For ease of use as far as being strong and having good fit body, this one is better for somebody that has a problem with a wrist or a shoulder or a neck issue. This right here would be a much easier way to go. This is, I'm not going to say it's for somebody that is handicapped, but maybe they're operating under reduced capability. They've got some issues with their body because of oldness, because of an injury. Maybe they're in a wheelchair. Maybe they're a person that just rides around in a little motorized, mini wheelchair, and they're in their nice little house, and they drive it around to do everything they got to do. My wife did that for years. But if she had that laid across her lap and a little shawl, a little soft blanket covering it, and you drag that blanket off, pull this thing out, and go to work, golly, man, that'd be a rolling arsenal of lead. Now, what about shells? What kind of shells will they shoot? Well, this one does not care about your horsepower level. It will shoot a very light load like that, which is just light bird shot target round. This one is a little pickier. Once you get them broke in, they will shoot it, but you still need to stay up in the 1250 to 1300 foot per second range, so you don't want the ultralight stuff. They both will shoot a 2 3/4, and they both will shoot a 3-inch round. Now I'm going to tell you another secret on that. This is something you need to know. I have shot these gas guns like this that operate, they slam hard, that bolt cycles and stuff like that. And what happens is, if you have this kind of a load, this 3-inch load, and it has that little plastic disc in there to hold all those pellets in there, if that disc ever comes loose for any reason, maybe you hit the shell and it opened that disc up a little on one side, those little ball bearings are going to go rolling all inside your gun. It's going to cause your gun to jam. So I don't like those. I don't want that at all. I don't need a 3-inch Magnum. That's just, unless you're trying to just deer hunt with it or something. For the two-legged kind of zombies. They're going to try to get you. Grandpa's Super X works just fine. It's got 9 pellets, 33 caliber. I think the speed on this is about 1,300 feet per second, something like that. And they do a complete crimp on the end of it, and then somebody sits there drinking coffee, and they got a soldering iron, and they take that soldering iron and they melt that crimp together. So there's no way to get those little ball bearings, in this case lead ball bearings, to go rolling out of there. It's going to stay solid. So Grandpa's old Super X, still can't beat it. 9 rounds of double aught buck. 2 3/4 inch, not bad recoil, not bad at all. Really not bad in either gun. So know this, either one of these will shoot 3-inch magnums, either one of them will shoot 2 3/4. This one does not care about power level from the lightest load in the world to the heaviest 3-inch magnum in the world. It will function because you are the one putting the shell in the gun. This one, being a gas gun, decides how much of the gas of this shell that it's going to use to operate that gun. You go to putting a really super light load in there, and the gun's not broke in thoroughly, and maybe your chamber's a little bit dirty, that's not going to have enough gas pressure to make that bolt come to the rear to eject that round. I've seen people with all these Turkish shotguns, I've seen them looking just like that, with that shell hanging out the side. And stovepipe like that, after somebody shoots, and that doesn't mean that the gun is a bad gun. It doesn't mean that the gun is an unreliable gun. It means you as an operator have picked a shell that's too light for that gun. It's just that simple. It's no reflection on you. It's just you might not have read the instructions thoroughly. One of the ways to break these guns in, very simple, without shooting 500 rounds of 12 gauge shotgun shells, is lock the bolt to the rear like that. When you store this gun, store it with the bolt open, and that compresses your spring. Your spring's up here around this tube, around the barrel, and it will keep that spring compressed, and you will get rid of about 10% of your overall spring strength. Try to say that 3 times fast. And it just makes a gun run a little bit better. Instead of trying to put in a lighter spring or shooting heavier loads, just leave it locked open for week after week, month after month. And they make the Turkish people that build the shotguns and the 1911 pistols, they're famous for overspringing their guns because they're wanting it to last for a long time. That's fine. But if you're trying to shoot light loads with it, you need that spring to take a little bit of a set, and that's what you're doing with it. So let's see, what else can we talk about? To tear down the two guns, they're both pretty simple to tear down if you're just doing a field strip. This one you don't have to have anything but one Allen wrench in the back. You got to take that butt plate off to be able to take the guts completely out of the gun. But just a field strip, pull the barrel off and this hand guard off. Once you get the barrel off, you can pull that hand guard off and go in there and work on the gas system and clean it out, and it's very simple to work on. Now let's talk about price. This is a big factor. Let's say that you're like I am, you're retired, you draw Social Security plus a little pension check, and you're going to go look at buying you a shotgun. Well, you can buy both these. If you save your money, that's fine. You don't have to have one and forget the other. You can go ahead and buy both of them, that's fine. This one's going to cost you $1,000. It's going to be Sportsman Warehouse, Bud Gun Shop. They're going to run about $8.90, $9.25, something like that. By the time you pay the shipping and the tax and a couple boxes of shells, you're going to be at $1,000. $1,000. Will this last you your life? Yes. Will it last you your son's life? Yes. Will it last the grandson's life? Yes. So that's an investment, long term. You need to be in good health with good arms, good long arms, and practice with a pump shotgun to get good with it. So what else about this one? Well, this one's $200. So you got 10 $100 bills here, and here you have 2 $100 bills. Now it may be $215 or $220, and you got tax and shipping. If you buy this from Bud's Gun Shop, you won't pay any shipping. They ship that to your FFL for free. They don't charge any shipping. So my FFL, I got to pay a transfer fee. Yeah, I found one that does that for $20. $20, man. I had one doing it for $50. I decided I wasn't going to do business with them anymore because they're not having to do anything but hand you an ink pen and a form and letting that come in. UPS is, FedEx is bringing the box in, setting it down, and then you sign the paperwork, hand it to them, and then they put it in their little cabinet at their gun store. That's an easy $20. I don't want to give them half of $100 to do that, so I went with a nice place that charged me $20. So what else can we talk about? The last thing, if there is such a thing with me, is a last thing. There's no such thing. Let's talk about the bore and how you restrict, how you control your pattern. That gun on the top, the 870 Remington, is a cylinder bore, okay? This gun is checked empty. I'm using my finger just to show what we're talking about. This bore right here is a cylinder bore. There is no chokes. There's nothing to thread in. It is what it is, and it'll be that way the life of the gun. This one, the Turkish are pretty smart. They build these around the Benelli chokes, so you can put, and it comes with 3 different chokes. This one came with a full choke, which chokes it down tight, and it will really make a nice pattern. And then it comes with a modified, and then it comes with one that's also a cylinder, which will really sling lead. So you've got 3 different chokes in a little box, and they give you the tools to go with it. So you got Tokarev, there's the box comes with. You've got the chokes there and a little choke wrench, and also the Allen wrench to take your barrel out if you need to take a barrel off the gun. But very good setup. Got all the tools you need to change that. And I think on this one I ended up putting I put a modified. I went modified to have a moderate load because that's going to be used in a home defense situation. Not going to be using it for deer hunting or anything. So modified is kind of middle of the road. It's between full choke, which is very tight, and cylinder, which is very open pattern. It falls right in the middle, like the Goldilocks thing, like just right. So I hope that helps you, and you're going to be seeing me do a lot of shooting with this on the farm soon. $200 worth of fun. I have already shot this a bunch just to make sure it wasn't a piece of junk, make sure it would run good. This one, because it's nickel throughout all the parts, I took it all apart. I have to do that with everything brand new. I tear it all the way down to the last atom. And everything about this was nickel, except I think the barrel itself is chrome coated. You can see it has that color blue to it, which lets you know it's been chromed. So the inside of that barrel is chrome line, the outside electroless nickel. All the parts inside, the hammer, the trigger, the bolt here, which you can take out and put on the other side, operating handle, everything is nickel, that electroless nickel, and that's good. And then the bottom is polymer, so there's no way it can rust. And that's a true marine gun, man. You can take it out in salt water and go out there and shoot some zombies that, you know, they're trying to climb up on the side of your sailboat or dinghy, or maybe you're on aircraft carrier. I don't know what you're fishing out of, but whatever you got, that thing will take care of business, man. Either one of them. If your wrist is bad, your shoulder's bad, your neck is bad, maybe you got broke, maybe something fell on you, or you were in combat and got hurt, whatever, this is a super way to go, man. All you got to do is be able to operate that. Pow, 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 pow. That's it. And it's a very nice compact design. It feels weird when you first pick it up because everything's kind of, you know, your mag's back here instead of up here, and things feel a little different. You might want to get you a vertical hand guard right here, or a post, because if you're not careful, you really can. When you throw your hand up there, you're getting close to that business end. You can blow a finger off in a hurry. So notice the distance here where your hand would be on this part as a hand guard or forearm of the shotgun. You're a good ways away from where the fire comes out. And here, when you put your hand here, you're just a hand space away from blowing your hand off. So I have another one of these on order, and it has a triangular grip here on the front, and I'm looking forward to that. I'm probably going to buy one of those for this also before it goes to a friend of mine to do some testing. So hope you enjoyed this. Please, if you have any questions, put it in the comments, and if you want to get real specific, I'll be glad to send you a phone number. You can do some texting to me or phone call, however you want to do it, and I'll help you out with it. So thank you all so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed it, and to my Marine buddies, Semper Fi, and over and out for now.